Hi, I'm Laura. I teach art at Berkwood Hedge Middle School. So in sixth grade, we are really transitioning students from an elementary art program where we're primarily using our imagination and creating these works of art that are full of exploration and experimentation into a more intentional approach. We're still experimenting and playing with different materials, but we're also layering on these techniques like value and contrast and perspective and color theory. And what that does is it gives kids an ability to see something that they want to draw and begin to draw that. And then we're going to take that and go into seventh grade where we're going to continue to develop those skills. Really establish that connection between seeing and creating. And this is really exciting because what this does is it introduces the concept of looking at a bigger picture for students, right? So it does not just apply to art, but it also applies to their real life situations. You know, when a friend is having a conflict with you and they have their own perspective, are you just simply taking them at face value, or are they looking at the big picture and seeing what might be contributing to the conflict? So I really like that about this lesson. And we're going to be looking at form, and we're going to be looking at how to apply light and shadow to create even more three-dimensionality in seventh grade. And that moves us into eighth grade, which is also exciting because they've learned all these techniques in sixth and seventh grade, and even that exploration that they had in elementary school, and they're sort of combining it all and conceptualizing their own projects. They're going to bring their own interests, and they're going to talk about why they are creating the art that they're creating, why they have selected the process that they've created. So eighth grade is really developing and adding this level of sophistication into their art making to help them really be able to articulate themselves and use the tools that they've learned to process even more deeply than before. And what I'm also doing in each grade in art is that I'm also going to be introducing them to art and artists and link them back to all these techniques and look at their art movements, look at the historical, cultural, societal contexts, what they're trying to say with their art, what they're trying to do with their art, and look at just artists on a global scale. And so this exposure is really important because they'll maybe find themselves represented in some of these artists, or they'll just be exposed to these different ways of thinking and different ways of creating. Because middle school is this time where so much change is happening and these big questions come up, like who am I and where do I belong? And the goal of middle school art is really to provide this artistic toolbox for students to be able to pull out their favorite technique and pull out their favorite material and process these emotions, right? And that will just give them the tools, all in service of just greater mental health also. So I look forward to seeing you at an upcoming open house.